What's happening, guys? It's your girl Minna. Welcome back to my channel. You guys already know what it is, man. Happy Tuesday. It's the day after the day before, or the day after the night before. And I hope a lot of you have recovered from yesterday. I still haven't. I'm not gonna lie. I still haven't really recovered from it. It's like a bitter taste in my mouth still. Woke up this morning, didn't. Firstly, Manchester United's admin have not tweeted on the official Manchester United account since the end of the game yesterday. I thought I would wake up to some news. I thought maybe we would get some news during the day, but that's not really been the case. There has been some reports, of course, about the manager's situation at the club. There's been some little transfer talk, which inevitably was going to happen after Elise put on a show for Manchester United yesterday. So we're going to talk about that. Big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. I feel like I got a bit more positive energy today. Yeah, I feel like I feel like last night I was just, you could tell in the tone of everything. I had nothing left in me. But today I feel like I'm a bit more positive. I've got a bit more positivity, if you want to say that. So be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe if you are new here as well. If you want to join the membership club, you can. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content, and of course you get to support the growth of the channel. What is it? It's Champions League today. It's funny how it's Champions League today, and I just couldn't care less. Not because Man United is not in it. I always enjoy Champions League football, but I think yesterday's defeat has just like made me not want to watch football. But of course I'll probably watch Dortmund versus PSG. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a watch along because I do have a lot of editing to do this evening as well, but I'm going to see if I can fit it in. Let me know what you lot's plans are for the day or for the evening or for the morning, time zones, all of that stuff. Listen, I got some stuff that I want to talk about, and I don't want to take us back on a little road trip. I don't want to take us back on a little road trip of yesterday's game because I don't think it's just, we can't talk about it too much. There's not really much to talk about, but I cannot believe what I saw with my eyes. I cannot believe what I saw with my eyes, in particular this. What the hell is Casemiro doing on the floor? Honest to God, what the hell is Casemiro doing on the floor? This was the first goal. I think this was the goal Elise scored. It was from a throw-on. It came from a throw-on. He picked it up from just before Casemiro, actually, and then he skipped past Casemiro, left him for dead on the floor, skips past him. No one closes him down. Kobe can't get to him. Dalot can't get to him. Johnny Evans can't get to him. None of them can get to him. Wan-Bissaka is left in no man's land. Wallahi, I don't know where the fuck, excuse my language, I don't know where the hell Wan-Bissaka was going for him to be even get caught out like that. And what is Christian Eriksen doing? Is he covering the space that Wan-Bissaka has already got covered? Like this is in between Kobe and Wan-Bissaka is Christian Eriksen. What is Christian Eriksen doing there? What is he doing there? Is he covering the space that's already being covered by Wan-Bissaka? Like, that is so poor. And prior to this throw-on was taken, yeah, guys, Bruno was advanced. Eriksen was advanced. How have you got a throw-on in your own half and your most advanced midfielders are practically on the halfway line? That is so bad. That is so bad. Ten Hag came out after the game and he was saying, listen, the players couldn't execute what I asked them to do. Is this what he's asking them to do? Is this what he's asking them to do? Casemiro, wallahi, like, I genuinely cannot believe it. I watched the game back. I watched the extended highlights back of the game. Just because at the time when I was watching the game, guys, I was just, as the goals went in, I just laughed. But I had to go and watch it back because I thought it couldn't have been as bad as a performance that we were all making out to be. But I can assure you guys, after watching it back, it's probably even worse. And this is just one example of it. This is probably, Elise's second goal is just as bad with Casemiro. I don't know what the hell Casemiro was doing on the byline, trying to get a clearance. I don't know. I really don't know. There was, even when Eduardo hit the post in the last 10 minutes, another error coming from Casemiro. Casemiro had the worst performance I've probably ever seen him have in a Manchester United shirt. It was probably one of the worst. Like, I'm not joking, guys. Yeah, I am not joking. No disrespect to Casemiro, but I don't think I've seen Fred have this bad of a performance. I don't think I've seen Fred ever have this bad of a performance. And the reason why I'm mentioning Fred is that Amrabat came on in the second half. We sold Fred for 8 million euros to get Amrabat on loan for just over 8 million euros. Make that make sense. Honestly, make it make sense. I just had to share this with you lot because I laughed. I honestly laughed when I saw this. I thought firstly, why is Casemiro literally face in the floor eating grass? At least they left him for dead. Left him for dead. Big up to Mr. Gates. Says today is my birthday. Going for dinner with my family. Yesterday wasn't a surprise, man. We've been like this all season. I can't see where our next 3 points is coming from. Big up, bro. I hope you have a great day. Don't let the club ruin it for you. Casemiro should be in between Dallo and Evans. Mino and Ericsson should be in Casemiro's position. 100%. Casemiro is actually meant to be playing right centre back in this. He's meant to be playing right centre back. My guy is in the 8 role. He's meant to be playing right centre back. Right centre back. He's meant to be the final man in the back line, in my opinion. He should be one of the final guys in the back line. Wan-Bissaka, you don't know my opinion on Wan-Bissaka. His positional awareness has always been poor. 1v1, he's one of the best 1v1 defenders in football. But there are so many other flaws to his game that sometimes we should not be overlooking. And this is just one example. This is just one example of it. I saw other examples throughout the game of his positional awareness being so bad. I saw other examples throughout the game. But it's one of them ones where, guys, we can't really dwell is there a point dwelling on it anymore, the fact that, except for the fact that the season's practically over? I don't really think it's really worth dwelling on too much, but I had to show you lot that. I had to show you lot that because I genuinely couldn't believe it. I was lost for words. I was lost for words. Manchester United under Eric Ten Hag officially have 13 losses in the Premier League. That's the most losses for Manchester United since the Premier League started in the 90s. Prior to that, it was 12 losses under David Moyes. And these results, by the way, that we've lost, guys, it's actually embarrassing. The scoreline is disgraceful. You got 2-0 against Spurs early in the season. 3-1. Most of it is a 2-goal difference. Most of it is by a 2-goal difference. 4-0 Crystal Palace. 4-3 Chelsea. That game was a joke. 3-1 City. 2-1 Fulham. 2-1 Forest. 2-0 West Ham, 3-0 Bournemouth, 1-0 Newcastle, 3-0 City, 1-0 Palace, 3-1 Brighton, 3-1 Arsenal, 2-0 Spurs. And you know what the funny thing is? 3 teams on this list right here could probably do the Premier League double over us this season. We still have to play Newcastle, who we lost to early in the season. By the way, we've lost to them in every competition we played them. We lost to them also in the Carabao Cup 3-0, but we lost to them away 1-0, I think it was, if I'm not, yeah, we lost to them 1-0 away. We still have to play Arsenal. We lost to them 3-1, and we still have to play Brighton. We lost to them 3-1. This list could get longer and longer and longer. Wallahi, that is the scary thing about it all. That is the scary thing about it all. Eric Ten Hag, for me, has bitten off too much. He's bitten off more than he can chew. Like, that is my stance. That's been my stance on him. I said after the Champions League campaign, you know, that shouldn't run. That shouldn't run. To be able to have such a Champions League campaign where we weren't even missing as many players as we are at this point of the season, by the way. We weren't missing as many. That should have been the bar. After that, nothing should have been acceptable, but yet we accepted it. We accepted it. Some of these losses came off the back of crashing out of the Champions League. 3-0 Bournemouth, 2-0 Forest, 2-1 Forest, 2-0 West. Like, a lot of these losses came after we crashed out of the Champions League. And yet, there's still possibly more losses on the horizon. There's more. You know what's so funny, guys? Before all of this, like a few months ago, I was planning to record, and I am planning to record and edit a preview video for Manchester United versus Arsenal with a very, very big content creator. And the only reason why I wanted to do it a couple months back is because I thought, you know, we would be in a much better place. But now, off the back of yesterday's loss, I feel like messaging them and saying, yo, like, can we cancel it? I know you said you'd come on my channel, but I'm still gonna do it. And I can't even go and record and, you know, brag and all of that. I can't be like, yeah, we're gonna humble Arsenal, we're gonna end their no, I can't do that because we lost 4-0 to Crystal Palace. Could have been 5. Someone just said it in the chat. These scorelines are flattering as well, 100%. Because if I remember watching some of these games, Bournemouth could have been much more. City could have been more. Palace yesterday could have been a lot more. And that's what I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. News coming out today about Erik Ten Hag and his position. I want to say position in the club or his future in the club. As of today, Manchester United believe his future is far from certain. Insiders insist that a final decision on his future will not be taken until the end of the season, i.e. after the FA Cup final. This is like, yeah, guys, having a gun, yeah? And someone points a gun at you. Yeah? They shoot it once. What's that game? What's that thing called that they do? Russian roulette, in it, when they leave one bullet in a gun and they spin it and shoot. It's basically, that's what we're doing this season with Ten Hag. That's what we're doing with Ten Hag this season. He has a gun, one bullet in there, spin it, shoot at the club. He keeps missing. By the 6th time that he's missed, one of it has to be a bullet. And that FA Cup final, you will allow him and these players, like, you know, I'm not joking. Play the kids. At least they know what it means. They've come through the academy system. They know the power and what it means, what that badge means, to wear that badge or to have the privilege to wear that badge. Erik Ten Hag to me yesterday looked defeated. I said this months back. Imagine this. I sound like a broken record because months ago I was saying Ten Hag looks defeated on the touchline. But yesterday, the fact that he was straight down the tunnel after the game, didn't even clap the away fans, just shook hands with the manager and kept it moving straight down the tunnel, probably straight on his, ready to go home. It's very unfortunate the way that this situation with Erik Ten Hag has turned out. Is very unfortunate because 2 years ago, United were in this position. Ralph Rangnick was leaving. We were in this position of Erik Ten Hag coming in. Do you not remember final game of the season he came to watch? We genuinely thought, this is it. A new leaf has been turned. It's new beginnings. I really want to know why Erik Ten Hag did not want to work with Ralph Rangnick. That's what I want to know. That's genuinely a very curious thing that I'd like some information on. Not because like I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'm just generally curious. But 2 years ago, we genuinely thought that we were turning a new leaf. It was a new beginning. On to the next. New manager coming in. We're gonna have a style of play. We're gonna have, we're gonna be able to attract good players. We're gonna have that the Ten Hag way of football that he's so famously, advertised whilst he was at Ajax. That is what it was. That's what we felt we would be in. I don't think 2 years later, Manchester United would have had the worst Premier League campaign ever. I wouldn't have thought that. I wouldn't have thought 3 games left of the season, Manchester United could possibly finish with 16 losses. I didn't think before the end of the season, Manchester United would have set a new record for the number of losses in a Premier League campaign. I didn't think before the end of the season, Manchester United would have conceded 81 goals in all competitions. By the way, multiple times. I think this is under Erik Ten Hag is a record post Sir Alex Ferguson that Manchester United have conceded 3 or 4 goals in a game. Just, if you don't look at the thumbnail of this video, I was making the thumbnail earlier today, and I was just looking at a lot of the scorelines that I put on the thumbnail is from this season. The 6-3 is from last season, 7-0 from last season, the 4-0 at Brentford last season, but every other scoreline I've put on there, and I even left some out because I could have put in the draws. I think the draws are probably as bad as the losses. Now, the losses are definitely worse. The losses are definitely worse. But the draws are kind of bad as well, because some of them we just about scrape draws. We generally scrape draws. And what amazes me about Erik Ten Hag, I respect him because he's gonna back himself till the end. And he says, I'm the man for the guy for this job. I still believe like in what I'm doing. But sometimes I think you just need to accept that you cannot change the situation. And that's why I say in the title of this video, the Ten Hag has failed the players, and the players have failed Ten Hag. For far too often, we always talk about it as if it's one or the other. It's either about Ten Hag being the issue or the players being the issue. Ten Hag said yesterday after the game, it's not acceptable, the goal that we conceded in particular. It's not acceptable. But Ten Hag has also, for the last 12 months, ignored the issue of the midfield. And that takes us back to the screenshot at the beginning of the stream of Casemiro in no man's land. Eriksen, I don't know what the hell Eriksen is doing. Kobe Mainoo, etc. The gaps between the team is wild. It's wild, and it's been there for the last 12 months. It's been there since the first day of the season. And that's why I say Erik Ten Hag's stubbornness is what is causing the biggest issue with all of this. Is a lot of it is coming from his stubbornness. But of course, it's not a Manchester United loss if there's not talks of potential managers. I saw Marcel, I think, buying into the idea of Thomas Tuchel. I don't know, man. That guy, he's been dodging me. I've been trying to get him on. He just, well, if I show you our messages, this guy don't be replying. And when he does, it's like too late into the, like, I would tell him, come on the stream tomorrow, and he'll reply to me like 2 days later and be like, I can't do it. But it's not a Manchester United. Where's Marcel? I don't know. We need to start a hashtag called Where's Marcel. Thomas Tuchel is very interested in becoming Manchester United manager should the job become available this summer. Tuchel has been on Man United's shortlists in the past, and there is recognition among the new Old Trafford hierarchy that he is accomplished and fluid tactically, articulate, has knowledge of the Premier League and a track record of winning. So it's believed that Thomas Tuchel has a lot of attributes that the Manchester United hierarchy want, the new Manchester hierarchy in particular. Will he implement the type of football that they want? Well, they're saying that he's fluid tactically. And we already know that Jason Wilcox, Umar Barada, they've already, suggested that United will be playing a style of football across all their teams, the academy, the women's, the men's. And they will recruit based on that. So by labeling him as fluid tactically, that means he can work with whatever. He can work with whatever. He's very capable of doing that. I think Marcel has changed now from De Zerbi to Tuchel. I think he's moved on. I think he's moved on now from Thomas Tuchel to what's it called? Yeah, that's his business though. Shout out to him. The idea of Thomas Tuchel, I'm not against it. I'm not against the idea of Thomas Tuchel. I just worry about, because look at him at Bayern this year. Obviously he won the champs with Chelsea. But look at him at Bayern this year with everything at his disposal. Obviously Bayer Leverkusen are doing something magnificent in the league. So Bayern Munich. But when I watched, in particular, like I've watched quite a few Bayern Munich games over the last couple of months, just by coincidence, guys. Not because I've been scouting Thomas Tuchel, but just by coincidence, I've watched a couple Bayern Munich games. And in particular, what stands out to me was the Bayer Leverkusen versus Bayern Munich game. Is tactically, he had nothing for anything that Xabi Alonso was doing. Like, he had no answer for it. And this is a guy who's been, backed fairly by their board. They brought in Kim Min-jae, they brought in Harry Kane, brought in Eric Dyer. They've had players at the ready for Thomas Tuchel. Now, I'm not saying it'll be the same, because his track record and Ten Hag's track record, I think, is like his accolades speak for himself. I think the biggest thing when it comes to being a coach in the Premier League, in particular, is I don't want to say personality, but personality is a big part of it. It is a very, very big part of it, and I think Erik Ten Hag has been a victim of lacking that since his first day in the office. You know, he was criticized heavily at the beginning of last season for his lack of personality. It was reported that Spurs passed up on him in the manager chase around the same time as United because of his lack of character or his lack of personality. I'm not saying that's a major thing in football, but that's a big thing, I think, in any work environment. If any of you lot work in any sort of work environment, you know that personality is a big thing. It's not just about how good you are at your job. Personality is part of it. Thomas Tuchel obviously has a proven record in the Premier League. He's got experience in the Premier League as well, which would be able to help him as well. It'll be interesting to see. Definitely for me, it'll be very interesting to see how things kind of plan out. Now Thomas Tuchel, I was about to say Thomas Tuchel. Erik Ten Hag speaking after the game. Man, speaking after the game, he said he was asked about players not following particular instructions in reference to that first goal that we just kind of broke down at the beginning of the stream. And he said, professionals shouldn't allow this. It was such an easy giveaway goal. 5 players over the ball when they have a throw-in, and it's not the first time this season. I know we have young players, but even young players should learn when they play in the first team, they should take responsibility. The only 2 young players that were playing at the time of this goal being conceded was Kobbie Mainoo and Alejandro Garnacho. It was the throw-in came from Garnacho's side. But why can you not criticize Casemiro? Why can you not? You'd rather criticize the young players? What the hell have the young players done? When I think that goal is 80% of that first goal that United conceded from a throw-in is from Casemiro and his clumsiness, his stupidity, his clumsiness. I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like he's so erratic. Like Casemiro is so erratic. But I just find this quote from Erik Ten Hag so weird. I'm not joking, guys. I genuinely find it weird because why would you single out young players? I know we have young players, bro. We don't have many. If that's the excuse for the goal that United conceded is by saying, I know we have young players. We only had 2 young players. We only had 2 young players playing at the time of that goal being conceded. So what would you rather do? Put the blame on them than to actually call out Casemiro? Because you know what? If you can call out players for not training well, and that's training is behind closed doors. If you can call out players for not training well, then you should call out players for playing crap in a game that's in front of the entire world. You should do that. And I'm not saying it's the same, but when it was made public about Jadon Sancho not training well, people were on the fence about it. And I remember a lot of people saying, like, this is something, training is behind closed doors. We don't know what happens in training. So why are you now bringing it to the public light? But what Casemiro did yesterday, or his performance across 90 minutes or so yesterday, was for the world to see. He embarrassed United on a public platform. You should come out and say, Casemiro, the guy who's wearing the captain arm, you gave him the captain armband. I would have just preferred if Kobbie wore the cap. Honestly, you should have given Kobbie Mainoo the captain armband. Kobbie Mainoo, I said it yesterday, was left to either sink or swim. And that was not the first game that I feel like Kobbie Mainoo was left to sink or swim. I feel like there's been multiple times this season where there's been situations like that where he's the lone 6 and all he can possibly do is either try and fail or don't try and fail. Either way, he's being set up to fail. But for me, this was a weird quote. And you know, Erik Ten Hag, in the last couple of months, he's been coming out with very absurd stuff, very unusual stuff. I'm going to say unusual because it's unusual to hear someone deflect so much. It's so unusual to see someone deflect so much when you're at the face of adversity, and when you're at the face of an issue, or in this instance, multiple issues with Manchester United. And this is a question to everyone in the chat, so let me know. Would you rather Erik Ten Hag comes out and just accepts that the season has not been good enough, that he has failed as well as the players, or would you prefer him to just continue saying what he's saying? Because I just feel like, read the room, bro. Read the room. There is no accountability anywhere. There is no accountability amongst the players. There's no like Casemiro yesterday. There was a clip, after the game, of Anthony, Mount, and Onana. Like Anthony saying something to Mason Mount. Like I don't know what the hell they're talking about. But even that guy pisses me off. So let me not talk about Anthony. Let me just speak about this quote. Eric Ten Hag blames everything under the sun except himself. I mean, he doesn't blame players. Like in this particular quote, I feel like he's kind of suggesting that the players should know better, the young players should know better. But I don't get who he could possibly be referring to when he's talking about the young players, if it's not Kobe and Garnacho, because we went through it. You know what? I'm going to pull it back up on the screen. Just so that it actually pisses me off just seeing it, man. Oh my God. Here it is. This is what he's talking about. This is what the quote is talking about. From Eric Ten Hag. He's talking about the young players. What did he say exactly? Verbatim. He said, professionals shouldn't allow this. It was such an easy giveaway goal. 5 players over the ball when they have a throw in. And it's not the first time this season. I know we have young players, but even the young players should learn when they play in the first team, they should take responsibility. What young player are you faulting here for this problem? For this particular goal from Elise? This was the opening goal where he just basically... where he picked up the ball and just ran with it. Casemiro just eating grass like the fucking donkey that he is. Excuse my language, guys. I don't like to swear, but I've been swearing a bit too uncontrollably the last couple of days. Maybe I should stop doing streams for a bit because I don't like to be swearing. But Casemiro is on the floor like a donkey eating grass. Wan-Bissaka caught in no man's land. Johnny Evans. The thing is like in this situation here, what would you? I understand now when I watched it back why Johnny Evans didn't step up, why Dalot didn't. I understood that, but what I could not comprehend for me for the entire time was why the hell was Casemiro all the way there? Why did he think he was still playing CDM? Did he think he was still playing CDM? He was caught in no man's land. Kobe and Ericsson yesterday confused me as well. They confused me as well with their positioning. Kobe looked like he was, I'm not going to lie, he looked like he was out of his depth, but I can't blame him because everybody looked like they were out of their depth. I understand why Evans didn't move. I understand why Dalot didn't move. Ericsson is running into the space that Wan-Bissaka is running in. Ericsson is running into the space that Wan-Bissaka is running into. Kobe Mainoo is following the man. Højlund is doing what he does best, just roaming the center circle. Garnacho's not even back. Bro, I don't even know. Where the hell is Anthony? No, I think that's Anthony in the center circle. I need to zoom in. I actually cannot see anything properly without my glasses. I think that's Anthony in the center circle. That's Rasmus Højlund there. I don't even know where Garnacho is. Garnacho is the only player that is not in the shot, and obviously Onana is not in the shot either. This is just so bad. And the more that I read into that Ten Hag quote, the more I think, why can you not blame Casemiro? Because even the Athletic wrote a piece about it, and I'm going to go through that as well. Athletic wrote a piece about it, about Eric Ten Hag refusing to criticize Casemiro despite the very poor defending. Let me find the exact quote. So Ten Hag said his side failed to follow clear instructions from his coaching staff on how to defend the throw-in situation. He said, we had 5 players. That's a goal that shouldn't happen because we really give clear instructions on how we should defend this. They didn't bring it on the pitch and we got hammered. He said that was one issue, but also on the left side, there are 2 players doubling up on one player, and that's very poor defending. I think that's what his quote is in reference to. It's the fact that there's 2 players in Ericsson and Kobe doubling up on one player, but why are you singling out the young player in that? He was asked about Casemiro, and he said, you can't put this down to one player. It's a team performance. Of course, it's a team performance, but Casemiro stunk up the field. Obviously, if you lot were watching Sky, Jamie Carragher went in on Casemiro. Like, I don't think I've seen a United player dragged the way that Casemiro was. Carragher said, at halftime, I said he's got to bring Casemiro off. I know he's got kids on the bench, but I think Casemiro should know himself tonight. As an experienced player, he should only play another 3 games at the top level. That's so rude. That is so rude. He's basically saying he ain't got nothing left in him. I'm a bit worried for Kobe. His physical attributes seem to drag him down, in a sense that he always needs someone that has some pace next to him, or else he will struggle with an opposition like that. Kobe Mainoo, I did a video about it. Let me see if I can link the video in the chat below. But I did a video about it months ago, and I said Kobe Mainoo is not a 6, and he shouldn't be a 6, and United should never ever play him as a 6. That is exactly what I said, and I basically gave a bunch of examples as to who United should sign. It's in one of my recent videos. I think Kobe Mainoo is not he's not known for his pace. Let's put it like that. Kobe Mainoo is not known for his pace. But Kobe Mainoo is not a 6. Eric Ten Hag has tried, failed multiple times to play him as a 6. And what kills me the most is that Sufyan Amrabat, the guy that you brought on loan for €8.5 million, could have played CDM. He could have played the 6. Kobe next to him in the 8. But instead, Eric Ten Hag reverted or continued with something that wasn't working throughout the season. And he thought maybe, it didn't work a couple months ago. Maybe it'll work still now, 3 months later. No, it's not going to work 3 months later. Of course, it's not going to work 3 months later. Here's another interesting stat for us. Just in case you didn't think the season was that bad, I hope this shows you how bad the season is. How much time has each team spent in each game state? So how much time has teams spent losing? How much time has teams spent drawing? How much time have teams spent winning? Surprise, surprise, Man City and Arsenal are in the top side for that. Manchester United have spent 26% of the game. Minna doesn't like to talk on UV, but here we are. Rent is due. Get in the bandwagon. Bro, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but if you don't like it, keep it moving. Keep it. Don't chat shit about Minna doesn't like to talk on UV. Shut up. Shut up, dumbass. You getting a timeout, you idiot. Fucking donut, bro. You're a fucking idiot. Get the hell out of here. Sorry, guys. Excuse my language. People say dumb shit and expect me to just ignore it. People say people to come here. I ain't never seen you in the chat. Today's the first time you say this Minna ball. Shut up, man. Shut up. I ain't never seen you in the chat and you're saying get in on the bandwagon. Furthermore, forget a timeout, bro. You're getting banned. Fucking idiot. Anyways, guys, apologies for that. It's just, guys, you know me, I'm a positive. I like positivity. I like I don't like to be rude, but I just don't like people coming and being rude unnecessarily here about Minna don't talk on UV. Shush. Anyways, back to the topic. Manchester United have spent more time or equal time losing in games than they have winning. Do you know how funny that is? That is hilarious. That is actually, when I look at this right now, Manchester United are on par with teams that have been in relegation scraps. Everton have spent only 27% of games losing. Manchester United, 26%. Forget about Sheffield. Forget about Luton. Forget about Burnley. That's the, I think, confirmed relegated sides this season. Fulham, Palace, Everton, Brentford, that's our level when it comes to losing games. That is our level when it comes to losing. United find themselves, I think this also confirms that United find themselves in a lot of situations where they're coming back from a game. Because we equally, as much as spending a lot of time drawing, which is nearly a quarter of the game, we also spend 48% drawing. That puts the season into perspective for you guys. And if you guys did miss it, I told you, look, clockwork. This is clockwork. Man United lose to Palace. Bam. Bam. News is out. News is out. Concrete talks regarding a possible deal for Elise to Manchester United are expected to take place in the coming weeks. Is it, guys? Maybe I need to I need to watch Elise more, because I know the only thing that I understand about Elise is his injury record. That's one thing that I remember about him. Let's look at his injury history this season in particular. This season so far, he's missed 8 games, which was in recent months, which is not too bad. 8 games is not too bad. His injury record is actually not that bad. It's not that bad. He missed 13 games last season, 2 games the season before that, and one game, sorry, the season before that. That is not bad. One thing I don't understand though, is why Manchester United brought Sancho, Ahmad, Anthony, even buying Garnacho, because we brought Garnacho for the academy. We brought all these guys just to now go out and buy Elise again. What does that mean for Anthony? Will Anthony get sold? Because I think I saw a report today that was like, Anthony's spot at Manchester United is not under threat. Well, it should be. It should be. It was as if, you know what's funny? Yeah, going into yesterday's game, I remember someone was saying Elise is going to be basically this is a stinky front line, bro. No disrespect, bro. Sancho, Ivan Toney, Elise. That's not the front line we think it is. That's not the front line that we think it is. The thing is the front line that Palace were playing yesterday, they weren't Eze and Elise weren't playing as like right wingers per se, like as wingers. Sorry, they were playing a bit more tucked in, with Mateta in front of them. That could possibly work. But can I just say, guys, let the dream of Sancho go. That's the South London front line. I don't see. I generally don't see Ivan Toney joining Manchester United. I don't see it. I don't see Jadon Sancho returning. I think I've said this before. As much as I want Rashford to leave for the sake of a clean slate for himself and for the club, but I also wouldn't be surprised if he's the starting left winger next year. Next season, I wouldn't be surprised. United need a striker though. Manchester United have to sign a striker next year. Palace play 3-4-3, right? Yeah, they do. They were playing a 3-4-3 yesterday. Mitchell, shout out to Mitchell, man. He's from my ends. So I can't hate on him too much. But he was playing as a wing back. He was basically playing as a wing back yesterday. Garnacho isn't good enough to be a starter for me. I think Garnacho is a good player, especially like off the back of his season last year. I think he had a good season. It was a breakout season. But I just think that he's been running to the ground over he just looks tired to me. And there's no harm in that being the case for a player. There's nothing wrong with saying he's tired. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with saying he needs a few games rest where he's not starting. Because in particular, when he does pick up the ball, yesterday, prior games, over the last couple of weeks, is that one move that he does, and outside of that, he's got nothing else left in him. Nothing else left in him. He'll try cut. Like, I feel like people have accepted that he will try cut onto his right foot, and once you block that off, that's it. There's nothing else. Why won't Ten Hag rest players? Injuries is the reason. Apparently there's too many injuries that Manchester United cannot physically afford to rest anybody. Apparently, I don't know. That's what everyone is attributing the issues to injuries. But I always say there's a bigger conversation to be had about injuries, because injuries don't just come out of nowhere. Like, these are professional athletes. Injuries don't come out of nowhere. If you were a commoner like me and the rest of us, where we don't play football every single day of our lives for that much, In terms of time wise, we don't if we're not athletes. So if I get one day, guys, I went for a walk, right? And I went for like a 1 hour and a bit walk, and I swear that day my hamstring was on fire. But that's okay because I'm not a footballer. It's understandable that I'm feeling injured. These injuries that United are getting, I think some of the injuries could be like players actually just don't want to play anymore. Like, what's Varane's injury? Aside from the fact that he's leaving at the end of the season. What's Varane's injury? That's another guy that's been injury prone. Camboala had injury issues in the academy, been fit for some time, comes into the first team, plays 1 or 2 games, gets injured. That happens to him. It's very unfortunate this season. Like, this is actually a freak situation that Manchester United are in, because I've never seen a team fall like flies the way that United have when it comes to these injury problems. Just a walk. Yeah. I went for a walk and my hamstring was on fire. This is when I just got back to like being fit. Guys, lockdown made me so lazy. I'm sure some of you lot might share similar sentiment, but I was so fit and active before lockdown. I used to play football 3 times a week. I used to play basketball once a week. Like, I was so fit. And then lockdown came. I didn't do any exercise, didn't play any football. And once lockdown ended, the 2 years of the pandemic ended, it's been so difficult just to get back into the level that I once was, basically. So now I've decided I'm gonna run a marathon at some point in my lifetime, but I'm gonna start small. First, I'm gonna do a 10K. My goal is to do a 10K this year, and then maybe not the next marathon, the marathon after that, I'm gonna do a marathon for charity. I'm gonna run for charity. But that's because, guys, I'm a commoner, guys. We're commoners. Players are getting injured because of Eric Ten Hag's training methods. Big up to Steffi, says Paul Pogba has spoken. And that's the thing. I'm curious to not the marathon talk again. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do a marathon. I think this could be a reason. I don't think it will be solely the reason, but Bruno Fernandes, for example, has missed his first game at United because of injury. Been playing with a broken hand. How did he break his hand? He's been playing with a broken hand for the last month. How did he break his hand? That's what I want to know. It just one day magically, I think it was Coventry, he had a cast on. Nobody's asking any questions. Why are players just getting injured left, right, centre? I think now Dalot and Garnacho might be the only players that are not out injured, that have not missed a game because of injury this season. I think they might be the only 2 players that have been fit every game. And you can see it. It reflects in actually the way that Dalot is playing, that he just looks tired. And it's true. The number of games that you play at high level in football is a lot. 60 plus games in a season. And Dalot been the starting player for a long time. He's been the starting right back for a minute. And if he ain't been playing right back, he's been playing left back. So he's been pretty much playing every single game. And these are young players that we are basically running them into the ground. Like, at such a young age, we are running these players into the ground. It's quite unfortunate. It's quite unfortunate. Manchester United staff believe the lack of leadership is felt in Martinez's absence. Oh, look, the PR pieces have started for Lisandro Martinez. Nice to see that. Nice to see that the PR pieces have started for Lisandro Martinez. No disrespect to him, but I forget leadership, bro. Just stay fit. Just stay fit, and everything else, we can discuss that. Apparently, this is let me not say apparently. I like to share everything with you lot that I'm reading. Although Lisandro Martinez is not the only vocal player, his presence at Manchester United is considered vital in creating a winning mentality and driving the squad. You know how he's an important guy? FA Cup against Liverpool, he was in the box, the players' box, celebrating like a madman. I think he's the only player that I've seen injured be at Manchester United at Old Trafford regularly. He's the only guy I've seen during his injury period who regularly attends Old Trafford to watch games. That says a lot. That to me says so much. Martinez is not good enough for Manchester United Football Club. I think he is. He just needs to stay fit. That's it. He just needs to, honestly, he just has to stay fit, and hopefully he's able to play an entire season for us again. I think that's the only worry. Like that's the main worry for me. I can't believe Jean-Claude Blanc and Jason Wilcox were watching the game yesterday. I want to know. I genuinely want to know what the hell they thought about that. I genuinely want to know. If you just come through, guys, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe if you are new here. If you want to join the membership club, you can. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content as well. What else? I'm trying to make sure that oh shit, I'm gonna be late for a stream. I'm about to be late for a stream, guys. I gotta wrap it up. We'll be live on Saeed's channel in about 8 minutes time for the Straight Jacket podcast with Nuruddin and with Musa. And then later this week or in the when am I gonna do it actually? Let me double check. Yeah, Thursday, guys. Of course, Arsenal is the next topic of discussion. That's the next thing that we're talking about. That's the next hurdle in front of Manchester United. It's gonna be a scary one. Let's listen. I am going to the Women's FA Cup final that day. I'm sorry, guys, but Arsenal versus Manchester United, that's a problem for you lot. Because me, I'm going to Wembley to hopefully watch the women's team lift up a trophy. And you know what's so funny, guys? Imagine I come back. Imagine I come back and we lose at Wembley and we lose at Old Trafford. I can imagine that happening. I could genuinely imagine that happening. Vlog, absolutely. There will be a match day vlog. Hopefully a lot of content for you guys. So that will be exciting. Thursday, we will have a preview show for Manchester United versus Arsenal. It'll be pre-recorded, so it won't be long. And I'm joined by Sharky from the Beta Squad from SDS, one of the biggest football podcasts in football. I was going to say in the UK, but actually in football. So we'll be talking about. We're going to have some talk about Ten Hag and Arteta. I want to know his thoughts because it's a comparison that we get quite a lot. And people like to use Arteta as an example for Ten Hag's last 2 years. So that will be out on Thursday. Make sure you turn on your post notifications. So when it goes live, you will get notified. It's not a live stream, it's a pre-record. And members will get early access. So members can access that Wednesday, Thursday for everybody else. And then obviously we got content coming throughout the week. Call-in show, still need to do that one. Watch along tomorrow for Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid. That will be a good one. But right now I got a Zoom. I got a Zoom because I'm going to be late for stream. Big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button on your way out if you're watching this back. Listen, guys, I know yesterday was a difficult one, but I hope today you lot are feeling a bit better. I'm feeling a little bit better today. A little bit better. Not a lot, but a little bit better. You guys know what it is. As always, hit the like button on your way out. Big up to everyone that came through. We'll be back tomorrow. You lot know what it is. 4 p.m. streams. We are here every single day. I'm out, guys. Peace.